It was 2:08 a.m. when a 911 dispatcher picked up a call that made her blood run cold. On the other end was a trembling voice, a little girl whispering, "Something's moving inside me. Please help." Her name was Emma Collins, 8 years old, blonde hair, big green eyes, living in a quiet Chicago suburb with her mom Sarah and stepdad Marcus. They were an ordinary family until that night. 3 days earlier, Emma had complained of a stomachache. Sarah thought it was nothing serious, maybe too much candy or the flu, but the pain kept getting worse. Emma stopped eating, stopped playing. She just curled up in bed, clutching her stomach and crying. Worried, Sarah took her to the pediatrician. After a quick exam, the doctor said, "It's probably gastritis or stress. Nothing to worry about." They went home, but that night, Emma woke up screaming. Through her tears, she told her mom, "Mom, it's moving. There's something alive in my stomach." Sarah sighed. She thought it was a nightmare, a fever dream. She gave her daughter more medicine and told her to go back to sleep. But Emma knew something wasn't right. At 2 a.m., while her parents were asleep, she quietly grabbed her mother's phone and dialed 911. Her hands were shaking. "911, what's your emergency?" "Something's moving in my stomach," she whispered. "Please come fast." Then the line went silent. Within minutes, Officers Rodriguez and Chin arrived at the house. They knocked. No answer. They could hear faint crying inside. Rodriguez called for backup and kicked down the door. In her bedroom, they found Emma curled up on the floor, pale, sweating, and barely conscious. Her stomach was visibly swollen. When the officer touched her abdomen, he felt it. Something was moving. Her parents rushed in, terrified. An ambulance was called immediately, and Emma was rushed to Chicago Memorial Hospital under emergency code. Doctors performed an ultrasound, and when the image appeared on the screen, the room went completely silent. Inside Emma's stomach was something with a heartbeat. Dr. Patel, the lead surgeon, ordered immediate surgery. For 2 tense hours, his team worked to uncover the truth. When he finally came out, his scrubs were soaked in blood. He told Emma's parents something that sounded impossible. Inside Emma's abdomen, they had found a parasitic twin, a rare medical condition called fetus in fetu. A partially formed twin, living inside her body, feeding off her blood supply for 8 years. It had a tiny spine, limbs, and even faint organs. Sarah collapsed in disbelief. Marcus could only hold her. Their daughter had been carrying her own twin all her life, and no one knew. Dr. Patel said if Emma hadn't called 911 that night, the growth would have ruptured her intestines within hours, and she would have died from internal bleeding. Thanks to her call and quick medical action, Emma's life was saved. The story made headlines across the state. Doctors from around the world studied her case. Emma became known as the girl who saved herself. When she woke up after surgery, her mother whispered, "I'm so sorry, sweetheart." "I should have believed you." Emma looked up weakly and said, "I told you something was moving." Months later, Emma was back to school, smiling and healthy again. Officers Rodriguez and Chin visited her at the hospital, bringing her a teddy bear and a small certificate that said, "For bravery and courage beyond her years." Today, Emma dreams of becoming a doctor to help kids who feel unheard. Because sometimes the quietest voice in the room is the one that's telling the loudest truth.